in this month of Sha'ban, this is what we need to do. We need to improve ourselves. Improve ourselves in every way we can so that Ramadan is beneficial for us. If we do this, Ramadan will be beneficial. Otherwise, we're not going to experience anything except hunger and thirst. We will experience nothing, no spirituality in the month of Ramadan if we don't reform and correct ourselves. If we don't reform and correct ourselves, then nothing spiritual to enjoy in the month of Ramadan. All we're going to experience is hunger and thirst. And that's not the objective. That is not the only objective of Ramadan. There's spirituality to be attained in the month of Ramadan. And that can only be achieved when a person understands the reality of what Ramadan is about. So this is why Rasulullah ﷺ, he taught the ummah the importance of preparing for Ramadan in the month of Ramadan. And one of the most important things that you and we need to correct is our conduct, our character. This is one of the most important things that we need to correct. Our conduct, our character, the way we behave. The way we behave. Rasulullah ﷺ, you and we know, the Prophet ﷺ was just, fair, equitable. And this is what we need to be. We need to be just, we need to be fair with one another, we need to be equitable. This is one of the most fundamental building blocks when it comes to building a community, that if any Muslim community, they want to flourish, then their relationships with each other, they must be relationships where they are fair with each other. They are equitable with one another. They are just with each other. If we go to the time of Ali radiallahu anh, Ali radiallahu anh, he's the Khalif. After Abu Bakr radiallahu anh, Umar radiallahu anh, Uthman radiallahu anh, Ali radiallahu anh, he became the Khalif, the cousin of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, what had happened was that a Jewish person took his armor, stole his armor. A Jewish person stole his armor. Now imagine, Ali radiallahu anh is a brave man. We all know that Ali radiallahu anh was a warrior. He's a brave man. Imagine the attachment that he has to this armor. This armor, he used it for battle. He used it to go on expeditions. It protected him. So there is that sentimental value, right? He has that sentimental value attached to the armor. So he sees it in the possession of this Jewish person who stole it from him. And he's the Khalif, remember this, that he is the Khalif. He's Amir al-Mu'mineen. He's the most powerful man in all of the Muslim lands. So he makes the claim that, this armor that you have, this is my armor. It belongs to me. How do you have it? So what happens? So in those days, if you make a claim against someone, then you can take that person to court. So the matter is taken to the court, Muslim court. Right? Now the judge has been appointed by who? Ali radiallahu anh. The judge is appointed by Ali radiallahu anh. His name is Shurayh, Qadi Shurayh. He was not a Sahabi, he was a Tabi'i, very great Tabi'i, a very great scholar. So he's there, and he asks Ali radiallahu anh that what is your claim and who is it against? So Ali radiallahu anh says that my claim is that this person has armor that belongs to me, he stole it. Right? He stole it. So Shurayh asked this person that, is this true? He goes, no, this is my armor. It doesn't belong to him. So Shurayh al-Qadi, he says to Ali radiallahu anhu, okay, what evidence do you have? He goes, my evidence is my son. My evidence is Hassan radiallahu anhu. Hassan radiallahu anhu is Sahabi. What does Rasulullah say about Hassan and Hussein? Sayyida shababi ahlil jannah. Right? That they are the leaders of the youth of paradise. That is their status in the hereafter. Great status. Rasulullah loved Hassan and Hussein radiallahu anhuma. So Hassan radiallahu anhu, he is giving testimony. So Shurayh says that his testimony cannot be accepted. He's a family member. A family member's testimony in your favor cannot be accepted because we don't know what the motives are. Right? Perhaps he is not telling the truth. This is what Islam is telling. Islam is saying this. Islam is saying this. These are the rules. So when the judge gives the verdict, he gives it in favor of the Jew. Now this Jewish person is watching the proceedings and he sees the fairness of Islam. He sees the justice of Islam. He sees the character of Islam. That I'm a Jewish man. I'm non-Muslim. I'm in a Muslim court, sitting amongst Muslims. The Khalif is the plaintiff. Amirul Mu'mineen. He is the leader of all of the mu'min, leader of all of the Muslims. He is the plaintiff. And the judge is a Muslim. And he is ruling in favor of me? How is that possible? How is this possible? And right there and then he accepted Shahada. He accepted Islam. He was so influenced and so struck by the beauty, the fairness of Islam, by the conduct and character of Islam. He couldn't hold back. And he tells the judge that, oh judge, it is true. I stole this armor. I took this armor. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs to Amirul Mu'mineen. But because I have witnessed the conduct today, I can't help myself but accept Islam. So it is, brothers, it is conduct. It is our character that needs to improve, especially with each other. Sometimes it happens that we get angry. It happens. It's natural. But that anger, it should never be a cause. It should never be a cause where you break relations with that person. Anger is natural. It happens. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created humans with these emotions. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also granted us the ability to harness those emotions, to suppress those emotions. So being angry, this is natural. But again, that anger should never be the cause of breaking a relationship between you and your Muslim brother. No matter how bad it gets, no matter how difficult the person is. If we look at Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was a just person. One time, a Jewish person came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said that, you Muslims would be good. You Muslims would be good if you don't do shirk. Now, you and I, when we hear this, we're going to be shocked. What are you talking about? Islam is all about removing shirk, removing polytheism. And he's talking to the Prophet ﷺ, whose sole mission was to remove polytheism from the Arabian Peninsula. But Rasulullah ﷺ is a just person. His reaction was always the reaction of a prophet. Even non-Muslims, when they look at Rasulullah ﷺ and they read about him, they are shocked that a person would react the way he would react when someone was harsh in his conduct, when someone was bad in his conduct. And this is one of the proofs of prophethood. One of the proofs of prophethood is that if someone does something to us, yells at us, physically harms us, What are we going to do? Revenge. That's our natural reaction, revenge. This was not the natural reaction of the Prophet ﷺ. Never. Not one time did this happen. And there are so many instances where people, they were looking to harm the Prophet ﷺ. And they did harm him. But it was never his reaction. Even when Fatah Makkah took place, when the conquest of Makkah took place, what was the reaction of Rasulullah ﷺ? Even his opponents knew that you're a noble person. The Prophet ﷺ asked that, what do you think I'm going to do with you? They said that, O Prophet of Allah, you are the son of a noble man. You are noble and you are the son of a noble man. We know exactly how you're going to deal with us. So he says that, يَغْفِرُ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive you. لَا تَثْرِيبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْيَوْمِ. No blame on you today. These were the people that killed his uncle. These were the people that prematurely his daughter miscarried. Prematurely his daughter miscarried. These were the people that caused so much heartache to the Prophet ﷺ. And it was these people that Rasulullah ﷺ forgave. These people, the Prophet ﷺ forgave. There's lessons to be learned from the seerah and from the biography of the Prophet ﷺ. So I was talking to you about that story. So the Jewish person came. You Muslims would be good if you didn't commit shirk. So the Prophet ﷺ asked, how are we doing this? How are we committing shirk? He said that when you take an oath, instead of taking an oath by Allah, you say, wal Kaaba. You could take an oath by the house of Allah. By the house. What the Jewish person failed to see was when the Sahaba, when they would take an oath, they would shorten it. Instead of Rabbil Kaaba, they would say wal Kaaba. It's Rabbil Kaaba, and it's implied. Everybody knows that this is what this person is saying. But they would omit the Rabb. So Rasulullah ﷺ, instead of explaining it, he said, okay, no problem. He advised the Sahaba that from now on, instead of saying wal Kaaba, say Rabbil Kaaba. And the Sahaba, they don't question. It was not their habit. Why? What is the reason? Who cares about what this person is saying? No. Rasulullah ﷺ felt that this was valid. Okay, from now on say Rabbil Kaaba, by the Rabb of the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By the Rabb of the Kaaba. By the Rabb of the Kaaba. This was the conduct, the good character, the justice, the fairness of Rasulullah ﷺ. And this is what we need to inspire. We need to draw inspiration from these stories from the seerah. When we draw this inspiration, from this, then we will improve ourselves with each other, with our families, the way we behave with our kids, the way we behave with our wives, the way we behave with one another. Right? How often does it happen that we have an argument with a family member, and then we stop talking to that family member for years? Small petty arguments. Whereas the Rasulullah ﷺ was sent to mend the ties of kinship. And that's what Rasulullah ﷺ did. Otherwise, Islam would not be successful. The Muhajirin, they came from Makkah to Medina, and Rasulullah ﷺ united them with the Ansar to such a degree that these were the people that carried Islam to foreign lands. If the Prophet ﷺ didn't do that, we would not be Muslim today. We would not be Muslim. This happened because of the efforts of the Prophet ﷺ. And he made it his primary responsibility that the Muhajirin and the Ansar, they need to be together. They need to be united. Only then will Islam flourish. So, before the month of Ramadan comes in, the reminder that we need to carry for the rest of Sha'ban is that I need to improve myself in the month of Sha'ban. I need to fast a little bit in the month of Sha'ban. I need to read a little bit of Quran in the month of Sha'ban. I need to improve my character and my conduct in the month of Sha'ban. Then we will see the blessings and we will see the effect in the month of Ramadan. Otherwise, if we wait, okay, yeah, Ramadan, it's going to improve me. No, no, no. Then we're delusional. This is from shaitan. These are one of the tricks of shaitan. Then it's just going to be another Ramadan coming and going, and we don't benefit from it. So the time to change is not Ramadan, the time to change is now. And inshallah, we will see the barakat that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has reserved for us in the month of Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us understanding.